Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Friday evening. I am Glenora Shipora, bringing you news, community stories, weather, economics, and so much more. Getting into the news tonight, the Herero and Nama communities, along with other ethnic tribes, gathered to restore the unmarked graves of their ancestors who died in the 1904 to 1908 genocide. Late Law Peringada, the director of the Swakopmund Genocide Museum, met with these communities at the 1904 to 1908 Swakopmund graveyard.
And I'm the director of the Swakopmund Genocide Museum, and I'm a descendant of the people that survived the Swakopmund concentration camps, and we are at the mass grave of the Swakopmund prisoners of war. And most of these people, they died in Swakopmund and they were used as slaves. The thing is, we are restoring this grave of those prisoners of war, and we are doing it 4 times per year because it is actually the duty of the Swakopmund municipality to do it, but they have refused it. That's why we are doing it on a voluntary basis. Why I decided to do it on an infinite day is because these people, they fought the first war of resistance against colonialism, and they resisted colonialism from German Empire. And now I invited everyone to come and participate in restoring the grave, just to give a bit of dignity to our people. Next month, on the 19th of April, I'm going to meet some of the German officials from the German embassy and also from Germany. They will come to my project, and there's a possibility we are going to fund around 50,000 euro for this project. And I've also agreed with some certain institution in Germany. Through my project, we are going to take students to go and study for free in Germany, and also there's also German students who will come here to Swakopmund and exchange programs to find a way how we can heal the transgeneration trauma.
The Landless People's Movement last week called the Namdeb Diamond Corporation pathetic and implored the CEO Rian Berger to step down immediately after several Namdeb workers had to sleep at a bus stop in Oranjemund. LPM's Oranjemund Local Authority Councillor Gwame Stefanes shared a video with the media showing Namdeb workers seemingly stranded at a bus stop after being forced to sleep in expensive accommodation. For a company who is perceived to be a reputable company and Namibia's pride, it is evident that it is just a hoax. The employees aggrieved have proactively exercised their rights internally, and yet nothing has come forth. Instead of resolving the matter amicably, the company rather forces the employees into accepting expensive accommodation facilities by stopping the transport from Deberes, including the meals, just to evict the employees, Stefanes said in a statement. Namdeb could not be reached for comment at the time of filing this report. The LPM is now demanding that the company makes provision for the workers to leave for free as per their set-out conditions of employment. Getting into our next story, the Namibia University of Science and Technology Council has been tasked to broker a peace deal between the institution's administrative head, Dr. Errol Nwamap, and its chief legal advisor, Joshua Kawambi, after the relationship between the two fell by the wayside. It follows the leakage of sensitive information into the contact of Nwamap by Kawambi, who now faces a probe by the Anti-Corruption Commission and the then suspension of Kawambi. NAS Council Chairperson Dr. Like Hangala, in a letter to his fellow council members, voiced his intent to find a workable solution to the impasse between the two. The minister has told us that the relationship between the two NAS executives has started affecting negatively the working environment and thus needs to be urgently addressed, Hangala said in an email to his colleagues on the NAS Council. A meeting that occurred on the 14th of March laid out the acrimonious relationship between Nwamap and Kawambi, revealing the fraught working conditions. Consequently, this has also started to affect the working environment between the two offices, as well as the operational efficiency and the governance of the entire university, according to a summary of the meeting. Both Nwamap and Kawambi conceded that the working relationship among themselves had broken down and was in need of salvaging for the benefit of the institution. Last week, the southern coastal town of Lüderitz received its 6th school that will be built in phases, courtesy of the Karas Regional Education Directorate. Ngami's constituency councillor Susan Njaleka could not confirm when the school is expected to be completed or what it would cost the government, but highlighted that this comes at an opportune time as school-going children are increasing in the town. As we speak now, we sit with schools that have waiting lists of close to 100 learners, and even though we have in the past said that we need a new school, this time around we need it urgently, Njaleka said last month. Luterates had only 5 government schools, including 3 primary schools, 1 secondary school, and a senior secondary school. According to the Ngami's primary school principal, Besley Makaula, during the handover, stressed the need for a combined school with both primary and secondary grades. Luterates Secondary School has 10 grade 8 class groups and 9 grade 9 class groups, and they offer TVET subjects TVET subjects at the school. So this would be ideal, he said. While the Regional Council office received this government investment in the constituency, this new school will need ablution facilities, office blocks, and storerooms, which should be part of the immediate phase to function properly next year. Moving over to economic news, Keetmanshoop Mayor McDonald Hanse has emphasized the need to accelerate and prioritize the expansion of the Keetmanshoop Airport. The details follow after the break. We now expand on what we highlighted before the break in our economic news. Now, Keetmanshoop Mayor McDonald Hanse has emphasized the need to accelerate and prioritize the expansion of the Keetmanshoop Airport to boost economic development at the town. Situated 5 kilometers outside the town, the airport serves mostly charter flights carrying hunters and tourists. It also has the capacity to cater for wide-bodied aircraft subject to prior approval by the Namibia Airports Company. In a recent interview with Namibia Media Holdings, Hanse highlighted the importance of accelerating development efforts to unlock the region's economic potential. The expansion of the Keetmanshoop Airport is very slow, and there are mixed comments regarding that, because what happened was that the Finnish were quite active and excited, and all of a sudden we are hearing that the Keetmanshoop Airport is no longer a priority to them, Hanse said, expressing concerns over the perceived shift in priorities by previous stakeholders. Hanse highlighted the significance of improved air connectivity, noting the inconvenience faced by tourists who endure a lengthy drive from Windhoek. Currently, and in most cases, tourists are compelled to drive 5 hours from Windhoek after a long flight, which is not conducive, instead of them just flying over to Keetmanshoop, Hanse pointed out. Hanse underscored the pivotal role of the airport in stimulating economic activity. Let's take a look at our financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 23.83, against the euro at 20.48, against the US dollar at 18.93. 2 Namibian dollars and 62 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, all major commodities went down, with Brent crude oil trading at 0.25%, going for $85 and 67 cents per barrel. After the break, we take a look at our story of the day.
Attention kids, we have some exciting news for you. We are back, and this year we are planning on going big. So listen up. If you are in grade 3, grade 2, grade 1 or pre-primary, we are bringing your free school workbooks to you soon. This is all you need to know about where you can find your books. Books will be available for free in Republican Street Sale newspapers and all Namibian Sun newspapers. And for all pre-primary kids out there, your books will be delivered to your school in all 14 regions of Namibia. And there's more. Pre-primary books will also be printed in 9 different languages. Check out when your book will be available from the schedule right here. That's not all. Our free online school is there to help you along the way with video lessons and more books to download. You can also follow along on NTV every Monday to Friday from 9:30 to 11:30 for your daily online school lesson. We thank all our sponsors who are helping to build a brighter future for Namibia. Contact us at info@acdtrust.com and follow us on Instagram.
In the following video insert, Information, Communication and Technology Minister Emma Theophilus reflects on Namibia's 34 years of independence and how far the country has come in terms of development, while also giving an independence message to the Namibian people. The Land of the Brave celebrated Independence Day yesterday at a large event hosted at the Katima Mulilo Sports Complex in Zambezi region. This video is courtesy of the MICT.
I think what has kept us united as a nation in the past 34 years is, of course, our peace-loving nature. Everybody that I've met that is not Namibian says we're the most friendly people they've probably met. But more importantly, I think it's also our moderate tolerance of each other's differences and beautiful diversity, because we are all kinds of people united in this one common name called Namibia. So I think that being our moderate tolerance of each other and our peace-loving nature is what has kept us, of course, together. But I think it's also maybe not our full appreciation, but recognizing that we have a beautiful country. And I think us recognizing that has really made us appreciate who we are as a people, our country as it is, and I think that has kept us united. As a nation, since our independence, we have done well in terms of progress, infrastructure, our schools, our healthcare facilities, our ports, our connectivity abilities, industrial parks, all of that is efforts really to expand, to cater for such a growing nation, although not growing as quickly and as fast, but still a growing nation. And to sustain it, of course, we need to take care of whatever we have. We need to do much better in terms of looking after the infrastructure that we have put in place. And I believe that our founders of our democracy have really tried to put opportunities or avenues in place for all of us to have an opportunity towards equity, whether it's equity of the sexes, equity of races, all of that. There have been efforts made. Do we need to do more? Most definitely. There's still so much work to be done. But because I believe we're such a young democracy, we are well on our way, because I don't believe any democracy in the world has reached 100% of their goals. Every democracy, in some instances over 200 years, are still working at some of these things we're doing today. So I think there is still room for improvement and for progress, but what we have been able to achieve is still very much commendable for such a young democracy. To the Namibian people, I'd like to say that every democracy goes through hard times. But for us to sustain the gains we have made, we need to remain united, be steadfast in our unity, and pull in the same direction as our late President, Dr. Hage Geingob, used to say. But more importantly, I also believe that we can ensure that we don't give up on our country, Namibia. We still have a long way to go. Whether you're in what class, or what gender, or what race, we cannot give up on our motherland, Namibia. And I hope that as we pull in the same direction, we can all show up to add value to this country that we all so dear, hold close to our hearts. So I'd like to wish every Namibian a happy 34th independence anniversary, and that we continue to show up for our motherland, Namibia.
A Haiti gang leader has been killed as the transition council nears completion. This story leads us into international news after the break. Getting into our international news, attacks, including a shooting that left a gang leader dead, flared in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, on Thursday, as political groups appeared nearer to finalizing a transition council to take over from an absent government. A police operation killed the head of the Delmas 95 gang, Ernest Jolme, known as Tigrek, a day after another gang leader was killed in an apparent resurgence of vigilante justice, police and sources confirmed. The death of Jolme, a member of gang leader Jimmy Barbecue Cherisia's Vive Asnami alliance, marks a setback for gangs' moves to take over more of the city. Jolme had recently escaped from Haiti's largest prison in a mass jailbreak. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres welcomed reports that political groups had selected all members of a transnational council that will take over presidential powers ahead of future elections, a UN spokesperson said. The council, intended to bring together Haiti's fractured political class, is tasked with appointing a replacement to Prime Minister Ariel Henry, who announced his resignation on March the 11th as gang violence prevented his return to the country. The transition plan was brokered in Jamaica by the Intergovernmental Caribbean Community alongside representatives of Haiti's government and opposition. CARICOM released a list of political groups that will be represented in the council. The 9-member council had been expected to be finalized within a few days of Henry's resignation, but some Haitian political factions were unable to unite behind one representative. Moving on to our next story, increasing global water scarcity is fueling more conflicts and contributing to instability, the United Nations warns in a new report, which says access to clean water is critical to promoting peace. The UN World Water Development Report 2024, released on Friday, said 2.2 billion people worldwide have no access to clean drinking water, and 3.5 billion people lack access to safely managed sanitation. Girls and women are the first victims of a lack of water, said the report, published by the UN Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, especially in rural areas where they have the primary responsibility of collecting supplies. Now, spending several hours a day on fetching water, coupled with a lack of safe sanitation, is a contributing factor to girls dropping out of school. UNESCO Chief Audrey Azoulay said, while the report did not examine specific current conflicts, Israel has severely restricted access to fresh, clean water during its war on Gaza. UN agencies have long warned that not only are children and women at grave risk of thirst and starvation, but the lack of clean water also has disrupted medical treatment and hygiene. The lack of water security drives migration and displaced people strain resources in locations where they settle. The report cited a study in Somalia that indicated a 200% increase in gender-based violence against a group of displaced people. At least 10% of global migration is linked to water stress as the world faces a more erratic climate, the researchers found. We'll now take a look at our weather predictions after this short break.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
Let's take a look at our weather predictions. Katima Mulilo can expect a minimum temperature of 18 degrees Celsius and a maximum temperature of 36 degrees Celsius. Rundu, Enana, Oshakati, and Katima Mulilo can expect partly cloudy conditions, with Windhoek and Gobabis expecting some showers, with Gobabis having a minimum of 19 degrees Celsius. Now, in Henties Bay, Swakopmund, Walvis Bay, you can expect partly cloudy conditions, while Rehoboth and Mariental can expect some showers, along with Ariansvlei and Aranos and Keetmanshoop. And Oranjemund can also expect some partly cloudy conditions. Walvis Bay can expect a minimum of 18 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 23 degrees Celsius. Now, after the break, we go into our sports news.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
The Agenda is a weekly national affairs interview program hosted every Sunday by Namibian Sun editor Toivon Jabela, featuring a panel of high-profile newsmakers, analysts, and experts. The Agenda aims to reach high-end news consumers seeking informed understanding of national issues. This show is broadcasted on NTV, 1up2.com, and the Namibia Media Holdings Facebook platform. The Agenda focuses on interviews where we put the nation in the hot seat. Contact Agenda at synergy.com.na to get your product and service in the hot seat. The Agenda, focused on today's conversation.
Let's take a look at what's headlining our local sports. Now, for the third time, Swakopmund will host the famous Africa Triathlon Cup on Saturday at the Mole Beach. Triathletes travel from all over the world to take part in this prestigious event in search of ranking points of the International Triathlon Union, with the likes of Netherlands, Austria, Japan, Finland, and other African countries featuring. Last year's elite men's winner, former South African veteran Richard Murray, now representing the Netherlands since March 2022, is back to defend his title against a field that does not include many others from the 2023 event. It will be a new competition in the elite women's category, with none of the top three of last year taking part this year. This event will be streamed live on network television from 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, so make sure you catch it. Now, to our next story, the defending champions African Stars FC would have been quietly hoping that Tigers do them a favor by beating Ongos FC in order to give them breathing space at the top of the Debmarine Namibia Premier League table. Ongos, however, showed their fighting spirit and placed themselves in good position after beating Tigers by a solitary goal at the Independence Stadium on Wednesday evening. Betapi Tomo scored the winning goal after 49 minutes thanks to an assist provided by Simon Elago. Union Phoenix women's basketball team has beaten the Legends 101-30 in the final of the Commons Basketball Association Independence Cup at the Unam Court, while the Unam Rebels beat NAST Blues 82-74 in the men's final. The matches were well attended by crowds of both sets of teams, with most of them chanting their teams towards glory. And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Before we head out, make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, 1up2.com, Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday and Sundays from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am Glenn Rashipura, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.